Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in my country Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, culture, background, or whatever interests you. And today I want to speak a little bit more about the referendum that was planned in Kherson and now is cancelled because of counteroffensive of the Ukrainian armed forces. And I would like to congratulate Britain and Ukraine with the name of the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Actually, Ukrainians are very grateful for the support that United Kingdom has demonstrated to our country since the very first day of war. And the voice of Britain was very important when many countries still doubted. So I had a separate vlog about Boris Johnson and how important his figure was and how loved he is in Ukraine. I do understand that internal politics of the UK is something I'm not an expert in, so I am not going to talk about his personality in more detail, but for Ukrainians, he is a true friend and a very important person that has demonstrated its support when once again many political leaders were still in doubt and tried to save Putin's face. And we were following very attentively the elections or the possible names of the prime ministers, and Liz Truss seems like a very good choice for Ukrainians. I hope it is the same for the people who live in Britain. Please let me know in your comments, how do you feel about this decision, and will it be good for Britain? Will it be good for Ukraine? Because since the start of this war, I have understood much better that we all live in a very closely linked world. And of course, today we are asking for the support of Ukraine, but I have promised myself that I will never be neutral to any wars and conflicts that take place and problems that take place in different corners of the world, because it is our obligation as normal citizens of the 21st century, to support those who are fighting for the truth and justice, and we cannot keep a blind eye on what is happening. So congratulations to Britain, and let me know what are your impressions about the choice of the future prime minister. And of course, as a woman, I'm happy it's a woman, but I can tell you that Ukrainian society is the society where lots of women decide what to do. To some extent in history, we had long spells of matriarchate, I would say. That's why it is not a surprise for us that women can be successful in politics, and Yulia Tymoshenko was twice, it seems to me, the Prime Minister of Ukraine. I cannot tell you that I like her as a politician, but I think she's cute. And maybe that's sexist, but if, I don't know, anyway, she is a very strong and charismatic person, but definitely not the best politician. And I would like to come back to more important issues, and that is the counter-offensive of the Ukrainian armed forces that take place now in Kherson region. And it is extremely important for us to take back this territory till the start of winter, because in winter, of course, it's difficult to continue fighting. We will, because everybody in the world, everybody in Ukraine, and everybody in Orkland realize that this war is for a long period of time. That's why we have to stay strong, but at the same time analyze conditions, starting from financial and finishing with weather conditions. So it is important to get back Kherson, first of all, to liberate people, because people are suffering under the occupation. Many activists were tortured and executed, and people are forced to act according to Russian legislation, which is always awful. And also they try to change the programs of schools to destroy Ukrainian history books, and doing everything you can find in documentaries about the Nazi regime or Stalinism period in the Soviet Union. So it is very important to liberate people and to take back Kherson as an important military position too, to protect Mykolaiv and Odessa. This counter-offensive operation will take perhaps weeks or months, and I know there are lots of good experts both in Ukraine and abroad that speak about that, like Jake Bro, Operator Starsky, Denis Davidov. You can follow them and you will see the information, professional information there. But from my cannot say user, but ordinary Ukrainian observation, I see that the counteroffensive is successful, but I'm also proud that Ukrainian armed forces think about Ukrainian soldiers, and they do not initiate missions that are deadly or very dangerous for the soldiers, because every life matters. And this what demonstrates huge difference in attitudes to population, in attitudes to the military in Ukraine and in Russia. In Ukraine, we care about the way our soldiers eat, dress, and we try to save every person, and like just to back up everything. And in Russia, they simply know they will get new people born somewhere in the depressive regions. So honestly, I feel really sorry for the level of life in Russia. Of course, there are some vloggers and videos from Moscow, St. Petersburg or elsewhere that looks pretty, but this is just like 0.1% of true Russia, and true Russia is very depressive. So this counteroffensive operation led to the fact that they cannot continue the preparation of the referendum. I had a separate vlog on that referendum that seemed very likely, and at the beginning it was somewhere in May, then somewhere in August. They have postponed it, and now they say that they cannot continue and they cannot prepare the referendum. Why? Because of some actions of the Ukrainians, which we mean the success of counteroffensive of the Ukrainian armed forces. And another thing is that lots of collaborators with the orcs regime were executed by the partisan movements inside Kherson region and by the work of various intelligence services. So to some extent, collaboration with Russians is getting really dangerous for those traitors who still exist in any country, and of course they exist in Ukraine too. So many of them have died because of smart actions, either of partisans who are really brave doing that, or of Ukrainian intelligence services. Both of these groups make me very proud. And as a result, they try to blah say that this referendum does not decide anything. Actually, this referendum does not decide anything. They are right, because Kherson is Ukraine, was Ukraine, and will forever be Ukraine. And all of these referendums that were held in Crimea, of course, they are in Donbass imitations, they are fake. And they ignore all the rules, international rules of voting. And I have a separate vlog on that. Once again, if you want to know more, you can find it among my vlogs. But the truth is, this referendum are predetermined. The results of the voting are known, just as with the votes, for example, for the president of Russia. It is always will be Putin until he is dead, or until Russia is liberated by the Ukrainian armed forces. Because once again, I have to tell you, I'm sure this war must finish in Moscow, not at the borders of Ukraine marked by 1991. So this is one of the important and really visible victories of Ukraine and our allies, the fact that referendum is postponed forever. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support that you demonstrate to my country, Ukraine. Also, I continued introducing you to our new series, Soviet Myths Debunked, where we speak about some Soviet myths that still exist in the global discourse, and many of them fuel Russian military machine. If you haven't seen any, go check my list, Soviet Myths Debunked. Thank you for buying me coffees. Thank you for becoming my patrons and helping me become more and more professional. And most importantly, once again, thank you for the support of my country, Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!